Hey there everybody, Eric from Outer Limitless coming at you today with another video. Now I was in this exact same location literally a year ago. We were taking a look at the Brinyte HL18 Noctua. Now this year, the HL18 Noctua just happens to be about a year later. Brinyte now with a larger version of this headlamp flashlight combination, a really cool light, and we're going to look at this in a little bit of detail. So what we're going to do today, we're going to break it out of the package, get a look at the overall contents, I'll get it outside for some beam shots, and then I'll give you my final impressions. And so with that said, I have a whole bunch to do and a whole bunch to share with you, and if you're interested in seeing a little bit more about what I'm about to get into, do me a favor, stay tuned. Now before we get too far, I would like to say thank you very much to the people at Brinyte who did provide this for review. And so here, the Brinyte HL18 Noctua. This is a flashlight headlamp combination. This does leverage an 18650 lithium-ion battery, rechargeable of course, and just a really neat form factor. That's the first thing that I've enjoyed about these Brinyte headlamps, a very unique shape, really cool. Brinyte seems to be doing a very nice job with their packaging, very straightforward and simple. Not a lot to it, but at the same time, nicely done. As you take a look here, simple presentation, nicely protected. And right away, one thing that I do see with the HL18 versus the 16, this really cool cradle. I like that quite a bit. This cradle situation that's going on here, very nice. I like that. That's awesome. And yes, so very simple for the light to simply snap out and snap into this cradle. That's really cool. Now in addition, you'll see under here all the rest of the little goodies. So Brinyte, oftentimes using this proprietary charger. Now some people might like that. Some people might not. This is sort of a little bit of a pin and a magnetized attachment. You'll notice that when you look at the flashlight itself, it does have that magnetized charging port right on the side. And it's pretty simple, that pin just sitting right into place. So it's not like a USB Type-C charging port where you could have sort of that, general cable that you probably have laying around. That may be a pro or it may be a con to some people. Just something to consider. It does require the proprietary charging cable. Now this is the headband. Brinyte doing a wonderful job with their headbands. I've had a couple of different headlamps at this point, and these are very nice. Has a little bit of flex and give, sort of that shock sort of style. Has a nice sort of feel. But you'll notice it is fully vented. It's perforated, which is nice, and that gives it a good quality breathability, and it will also dry out if you're sweating. So a nice band overall. These are very effective. Couple of replaceable O-ring gaskets. I don't know if I have ever used replaceable gaskets on any of my flashlights, but at least these are here. Simple user's manual and a warranty card. And then interesting, it does come with the box for the battery, but in this particular case, the actual battery installed on the inside. And as I mentioned, this is an 18650 lithium-ion battery. And as we remove it here, simple little piece of paper to keep it protected during shipping. And here you go. So a 3100 milliamp hour battery, 3.6 volt, and then 11.2 watt hours. So overall, nice battery. Brinyte generally doing a very good job with their batteries. I've never had any problems. But again, as we get this reinserted back into place, nice threads on the back side. Brinyte always doing a fantastic job with their construction. And as you take a look at the form factor here, really, really neat. Does have a very nice pocket clip, can go either bezel up or bezel down, so a nice spring clip, very well done. I like the placement of that, and the body is really cool. The pattern, really neat and interesting. I do like that. And then the head, which does swivel, so you'll notice a full 90-degree and different articulation in between. So very nice, has a good overall look to it. On the inside of the reflector, very smooth, no orange peel, so this should be a good quality throw. And then that nice blue ring around the bezel, very nice. So the form factor, gorgeous. I like the knurling, I like the construction, just a neat looking light. And so now what's going to happen when we turn on the light, it's going to come on in the moonlight mode, then a long press is going to go between low, medium, high, and turbo. But when it comes back around in the cycle, it's only going to go to the low mode. It won't come back in the moonlight mode. So as we turn the light on here, that's going to be that moonlight mode. That's 10 lumens. This will run for 7,200 minutes, whatever that turns into for hours. A long press, this is the low mode, 50 lumens for 1,500 minutes. Long press, medium. This is 150 lumens and will run for 510 minutes. Long press, high. This is 620 lumens for 185 minutes. Long press, turbo, 1,600 lumens. This will run for about a minute and then dim down to 420 lumens for 125 minutes. The total output here, 23,750 candela, which is fairly significant. This has a beam distance of around 308 meters. This has an IP66 water protection rating and a 1.5 meter drop protection rating. Setup with the headband, fairly straightforward. You'll notice it just has some slots. So basically we'll get this into place. Then I'll get the headband on and adjusted for the size of my head. And then in a little bit, once the light dims down, we'll get this outside, take a look at the beam shots, and get my overall impression. But as you can see here, this cradle is very simple to use and really cool. And then taking the actual light itself, this just snaps right into place. You'll notice it indexes a very simple way, but no problem there. But in fact, it's made so the clip itself just literally goes right inside the cradle and kind of nests in there. That's really, really cool. Adjustment for my head, very simple. And what I do like with the cradle, you can rotate this down and up. It seems like it's going to index into place with no problem. I don't see this potentially even loosening up, which will be nice. That's a very effective mechanism, and I definitely like that. As I kick the light on here, that actually puts the button on the underside, which I am now pressing with my thumb. So that's on the underside of the light and pressing on that there. Very simple. I can kick the light from side to side if I need to. That's very nice, very effective. And also, if I kind of offset this just a little bit, it's not exactly centered, but it helps me with my overall vision. The fact that this is just kind of off to the side, I kind of do like that. So really neat, very unique. But now at this point, let's get this outside for some beam shots. And so now as we get the HL18 Noctua out for some field use. Now at this point, I'm going to single press, and you can see the light off in the distance. Now as I long press and go between the modes, here you can see this in the lowest mode. Now a good amount of beam projection overall. A fairly nice hot spot in the middle with decent throw overall. In the lowest mode, you are definitely going to have the ability to navigate. This is actually a fair amount of light, even for the lowest mode. And you can see casting off, you're probably not going to see it, but casting off to those birch trees on the left-hand side of the screen. Another long press here. Again, good amount of overall throw. A nice beam off into the distance. I can see very easily here, just about 80 feet away. Again, lighting up the birch trees nicely. Good amount of light you can see there as it casts off. Another long press, really starting to light up the scene. Now this is a nice amount of light overall. You can see good quality beam. This is going to be more than enough light for most tasks. Another long press, this is going to be towards that turbo mode. So again, more than enough light, well off into the distance, a nice throw, and really starting to light things up. Now keep in mind the fact that as I go through the cycle, again, this is not going to go back into that moonlight mode. It's going to come around ultimately into the low mode. So if I was going to need that moonlight mode at this point, I need to turn the light off, give it a few seconds, And now as I turn on the light, you can see coming back in that moonlight mode. Again, low, medium, high, turbo, and then coming back down around into that low mode again. Just some further demonstration of the beam quality. Again, here as I cycle through the modes, you can see that's the low. Even the low mode having the ability to cast a nice beam all the way into the trees. Here, that medium mode, medium really doing a nice job, good amount of throw. Long press to the high and really starting to light things up. Now again, you can see that defined hotspot and a good amount of throw off into the distance. Long press to the turbo, this is the full output, really starting to light things up, and even super tall trees here. You can see a good quality beam off into the distance. Long press here, you can see that is that moonlight mode, more than enough light. But as we move on, and so here you can see as I go out onto the ice with the HL18 Noctua. The low mode is more than ample for general navigation, my ability to get out onto the ice safely. Look around, you'll notice that as you take a look at the spill, it does not go too far out or too wide. It has a nice defined hotspot, pretty good overall beam quality, and just enough light here to be able to see my surroundings. Now here as I turn to the medium mode, a little more punch, a little more throw, and casting off into the distance. Again, you will notice the defined hotspot with a nice throw beaming off to the side. Now the high mode really does start to perform. This is where you get a good amount of throw. You can see beaming off into the distance. The beam more than wide enough. It's a good amount of light, especially on the light background and surface. You can see a good amount of light. In the turbo mode, really starting to punch a good amount of throw and an awesome beam. This is where, in my opinion, the Noctua really doing a fantastic job. The 18650, a nice battery, and overall great performance. That strobe, not necessary. I don't necessarily need a strobe, but I'm glad that I have it. Now just one last final demonstration of the HL18 Noctua. Again, as I turn on the light here, you can see decent amount of light, but overall, not casting off terribly far. You start to see the theoretical limit. Now I'm going to long press here. This here being that low mode. So as you can see here, low, really starting now to beam off. And in fact, you're starting to see a little bit of a pattern on the trees about 150 feet away. Long press, there you go. Now you're really starting to see this light things up. So this here, as we take a look, you can see even lighting up this boathouse a couple 100 feet away nicely, completely lighting that up. As we get another long press here, really starting to see the definition in that boathouse. And again, as we long press back into the low mode off. So this is low, medium, starting to get some beam distance, high, completely lighting things up, but then turbo, doing a fantastic job, fully illuminating that boathouse a couple 100 feet away. Very, very nice. And then, of course, tactical strobe, very effective, and off. And so, all right, guys, there you have it. A look at the Brinyte HL18 Noctua. Again, a really cool, just unique form factor and a solid performer. Very, very good quality, high quality beam, good punch at distance in a reasonably compact flashlight. The 18650 format working very well for this, and I love the fact that you get that 90-degree angled head, snaps right into the carrier on that headband. Really, really cool. Fantastic clip, great overall shape and size. The only one thing I would say that might be a drawback to some people, it's that proprietary magnetized charger, but other than that, just a really great offering from Brinyte. And so again, I would like to say thank you very much to the people at Brinyte for providing this for review. And for the rest of you, if you like this content, do me a favor, take a look at my Outer Limitless 2 channel, which is more on the tactical and firearm side of things. At this point, that channel is growing quickly. I have a ton of videos up there, so if you like what you see here on Outer Limitless, do me a favor and check me out on Outer Limitless 2. So all right, guys, thanks for stopping by. I hope you like what you saw. I hope you found it a little bit informative. If you like what you saw, please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, thanks for stopping by. Take care now. I'll see you soon.